with a global reach. Out of bounds. I am T Rex, and we're about to bring in the crew so we get started on the last weekend of Black History Month. Ooh, what a long month it was. Hey, Andrea, how you doing, beautiful?
Hi, family. I'm doing
How was
good.
that?
How are you?
How was that your not your grandbaby, your
My
niece,
nephew.
your nephew? How he's a boy? Okay, how's
Yes.
your nephew?
He's fantastic. He's so lovable and he's making sounds, and I love him. He's a great little boy.
You love me. I know you do. Your mama having a fit too,
Yes, she
but
is.
hey, is that her first one?
It is her first one.
Okay, all right. Well, best wishes to your sister and her family. Y'all do look exactly alike, so we won't say that. Hey, JP, how you doing?
Good, good. How
Good.
you doing?
I'm doing a little better, a little better. Gonna get off here and
Mhm.
take me some thorough flu.
Oh
California got a little snow this weekend. What's up,
yeah,
Big
I
Henry?
saw
How you
that.
doing today, sir?
I'm good, my man. I'm good.
Yeah.
I also have an addition to my family.
Oh, you
Uh,
had a new one? But
yes,
you
yes.
got like seven grandkids, don't you? Eight,
No,
nine
no, no,
kids.
no, no grandkids. No grandkids yet. I have a Yorkie poo that we picked
Oh
up last
Lord.
week. 6 weeks
Oh,
old. 6 weeks old. So, and her name
oh
is
Lord.
Ginger, and she runs the house. How about that?
Oh,
All
yeah,
right,
most women
welcome
do run
Ginger.
the house. What'd you say, JP? I'm
Yeah,
I
sorry.
said, welcome Ginger.
that's it.
Yeah, Ginger. She don't let her hang out with Charlie Murphy. Charlie Murphy a spoiler.
Oh,
Anyway,
wow.
so everybody's doing good? I know you guys.
Very good.
I don't know if you got snow, Andrea, but we got a little snow over here. I'm up in a little mountain range, so we got a lot of snow.
Yeah.
Today we're just going to talk about anything that comes up with Black history. We're just going to close it out with our opinions and our thoughts. So I'm opening up the floor if anybody got anything. If not, I wrote a few things down. But other than that, if you got something, spit it out. Let's holler about it.
Oh, I just want to share that last Wednesday I spoke at Centennial High School on
Oh,
behalf of Sigma Gamma Rho. They had a D9 night. So we
mm-hmm.
had 7 out of 9 participants. Myself and Dr. Mel Palmer, since we're president and vice president of NPHC, we got to go up
Mm-hmm.
there and represent for a little bit. But it was nice to be able to speak to the young people and encouraging them to go to college, and then also getting them talking about Black sororities and fraternities, exposing them a little bit. So that was my contribution to the culture for Black History Month.
Awesome.
Oh, that's good.
Awesome.
That's
That's
amazing.
good.
I saw the text message with the picture. Some of the my chapter fellows was there too. So
Yes.
yeah, it looked really good. I'm sure job since you and your sorority made it happen. I'm sure it was an
Yeah.
outstanding event because
Well,
I know if the
actually,
boys did it, it might have been an issue.
well, I also had
Go
told
ahead.
some coworkers about it, and I had 2 coworkers come, and they said they knew nothing
Mhm.
about Black sororities and fraternities. So that made me feel awesome to add insight into. There are
Oh,
two
really?
Hispanic ladies, so adding insight about our
Okay.
culture to them. So that's I felt great about being able to do that, just exposing a little bit about who we are as D9 to people who have no idea.
That is true. It's a lot of
That's
people
really
out
good.
there. That well, hats off to you. But that's what you're doing is nothing new. You always do an outstanding job, whatever you do. So that's just another block that you can step on and go to president. You'll be president one day. You make your own history. JP, anything you got? Oh, Ginger said hello. Hey, Ginger.
Oh, Ginger.
Somebody's talking about you already. The host said, hey, Ginger. Well, let's my thing was since we all quiet for a second since Andre done,
Yeah.
we were talking about current leaders. You
Okay.
got something? Go ahead.
Well, no, go ahead. I
Go
think you're
ahead.
about to talk on. I think you're about to speak on what I was going to just hit on briefly, but go ahead, sir.
No, no, you go ahead. I got them written down. I have to write stuff down so I don't forget it. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, what one of the concerns that or issues that I looked at in the and you may not be able to tell, but I am of age. So back in the '60s, we had prominent leaders such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, Ralph Abernathy, and the list goes on and on. Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, but who are those leaders do we have of today? Of course, you would have to look at the vice president, Kamala Harris. I look at Stacey Abrams, maybe, as well as Ralph Warnock. So, but I think some of the things that may have deterred that, and this is just my point of view, and I'm just a nobody, but I think the Black Lives Matter organization probably caused a little slip in that because of all the negativity that the organization, not the movement, the organization had with misappropriations of funds and so forth like that. But it's just a general question, man. Who do we look up to today to be our guiding force, or our person that we can look up and say, yeah, that's Malcolm, that's Martin, that's so forth.
Well, I just have to be honest and look at the light skinned brother with the big fro, Colin Kaepernick. Back when he took me, started this whole thing about police brutality to minorities, and everybody said that he was anti-American. The former president called him a son of a bitch and told him he should leave the country. I just believe that what he did was nothing more than make a statement. And I think, and I'm a positive, white America overlooked it, because when you look at the same thing that I saw Tim Tebow take a knee and nobody said anything. But when Kaepernick took a knee, they said something big. So my take on that is that white America is really not that fond of wanted us to say something. Like they told LeBron, shut up and dribble the ball. That's your job. Well, if you have a platform, you're supposed to use it. And I think when Kaepernick spoke up, and then everybody got on board with him, and then his your sister said hello, Andrea, and that when he got on board with all those people, I think it changed the look of what really happened. And I think either he just got lucky, or he had something that he, being Colin Kaepernick, had something that was positive that he was saying about police brutality. I mean, out here we had Rodney King. I'm sure we had other places that had something else before George Floyd and before Kaepernick made his stand. But he's also doing something a lot more than just talking about it. I think I stated last week he has a thing on Netflix where he exposed the Bakersfield Police Department. So that's just it. And Henry, I agree with you 100%. I think the Black Lives Matter had a good, strong start. They had some hitches up in the road as far as the police and all that. But I think Black Lives Matter got a real awful deal when you look at the insurrection. No matter what we say, it's black and white. And if you don't fall in, you're going to fall in one of those categories. I don't care if you're brown, green, or purple, you're still going to fall in one of those categories.
Right.
And when they had the National Guard standing out front for Black Lives Matter when they came to D.C., but when they showed up when the Capitol was being ran over by hooligans, they had no police involved at all. So I agree with you 200%, Henry. What you got to say, JP? I'm gonna shut up for a minute and let you get some words.
Well, for me, I think one of the more influential people that I follow, especially on social media, is Sean King. I think Sean King is he leads by keeping his posts, keeping you aware of everything that's going on.
Mhm.
He responds to a lot of things that are going on, but also he, for example, a few days ago, he posted about Ahmaud Arbery. Like it was like a 3-year anniversary. So
Mhm.
for me, I often go to his page to just to hear his insight on um, issues, be it political, be it racial. So
Mhm.
I think he is probably, for me, the one of the foremost leaders that I look to when it comes to um, our civil rights and
Right.
activities that are impacting the African American community.
Mhm.
Now, is that the same Sean King that has a special on CNN? Is that
Um,
the
I'm
that
not
glasses, big
sure.
fro, kind of grayish in his fro?
No, 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 no. He wears glasses. He's a younger guy.
Mm-hmm.
Um really Twitter, Instagram. He's really big in social media. And he's great with uh putting together like a lot of forums and symposiums regarding like civil rights. And his commentary is out of this world. So yeah, yeah. I'm not sure if he's gotten too much media in regard to like television or networks or things like that. I
I'm
know he
trying to
has about
remember.
4 million followers, so
No,
he's
different
doing.
guy, different guy, different guy. Because there was one guy on used to do. He still, I think he might still do the series on CNN. He would go and talk to like Klan members and ask them questions like why you hate black people and stuff like
Hmm.
that. So
Mhm.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
that was that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah, so he must. From what I just saw here on the internet, because I thought when you said Sean King, I thought it was the other guy. Uh, did he play football or is no? That's a
No,
different Sean.
same name though. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Same.
Different
Sean
Sean
played
King.
for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He
Yeah,
played for
Right.
yeah.
the Buccaneers. Yeah, yeah.
That's what
So
I
I
when
mean,
I
I just think.
first entered
Go
when
ahead.
I first got to know him a little bit. That's what I thought. I was like, oh, this guy he used to play football, and then ended up watching him, following him for a while. I was like, oh, wrong person.
Yeah, and he looks like a nice looking, young man from what I see here on the internet from Southern Sufficient Forks or whatever it is, not Norfolk. There's some university in Boston he goes to. So that's amazing. I just think that's amazing when young people get involved in the future because uh, the old guys man, we selling it out. I hate to say it, we selling it out.
Mhm,
Jesse Jackson changing the name to African American, as someone noted on the last show. That's like I'm not that it's wrong to keep our heritage, but I say this 100 times. As long as we continue to have surnames, then we'll always be
Mhm.
second citizens.
Mhm.
And since me and Henry on Bible study together, uh, God didn't make different races. He only made one race, the human race. We
mhm,
all have different, ethnic background due to our pigmentation of our skin, but we still all one person because if we all wasn't human, we couldn't make babies together. So
That's right.
that's the biggest key. So I think the majority, we'll call them the majority of the people,
Mhm.
trying to keep it separate so that they can be in power. But that's a whole different conversation for next month or later time. So we have a lot of good guys that talk up. We had the basketball player. We brought him up. What was his name? Uh, he was the one
Former
of
the
the
Chris,
first.
former Chris Jackson.
yeah.
Yeah. What was his name? JP his current name.
Mahmoud Mahmoud
Yeah. He
Abdul Rauf. Hmm.
he was the
Yes.
first one who actually stood stood silent for the anthem and made it that
Right.
that's it. So
Yeah.
I think those are the kind of people that use their platform not only for the good of publicity but for the good of the people. And I just think that if we had more people like that, we'll have a better off. So Andrea, what else we got to talk about other than our new nephew?
I don't know. You guys were talking about Black History Month.
Mhm.
Well, we originally started to focus on that, and one of the
Mhm.
things that I saw a post on Instagram this week that talked about how all of life began in Africa. You know,
Yes.
and
Mhm.
Oh, I
so
saw
that
that.
Mhm.
that's really as much as they try to oppress Black people and take away our history, all the shenanigans that are going on in Florida, like it's documented that all human life began there,
Mhm.
before we were taken, like even when you think about what they teach in history in schools, they focus on MLK,
Mhm.
Dr. King, Coretta Scott, but that's not all of who we were. Like, yes,
Yeah,
we did do some awesome things during civil rights, and yes, we were a people that were enslaved, but we were also a people that were kings and queens and scientists. They don't
Yes.
focus on that. It's like as if only Black history started the day we were brought over on slave ships.
yeah,
They teach a lot about world history and European histories, but they don't focus on specifically African history. We talk about African
Yes.
American, but
Yes.
it's sad that we don't bring a whole focus or close the loop on African history or all of the wonderful contributions that Black people have had to this country.
Mhm.
I
yeah,
agree. Before we
definitely.
start, thank you for tuning in to TAN TV, the African American Network. We have a local field of reach. And here we go back. Well, Andrea, I agree with that 100%. A lot of people think that, you know, uh, Africa wasn't the home, but they found the remains of the oldest living remains is a woman, Africa. And
Mhm.
I've always said this, and I can say it 100 times. Back when in Jerusalem and all those days, that was Ethiopia. That was part of Africa. That wasn't
Mhm.
part of the Middle East. The Middle East wasn't formed yet. So when they sit here and they make all these books and all these movies, they're just swaying the majority of the people thinking that that's what it really is. But you hit it on the head, Andre. We were kings and queens and scientists and doctors because the most important thing is if all those people would have stayed in Africa and still developed the same way, Africa would probably really be maybe Wakanda in I know
Right.
Wakanda is a fairy tale, but it could be possibly that because 90% of the new things that we did, not I won't say 90, I give them 60% of the inventions in America are stolen from Black people
Right.
Mhm.
because
Mhm.
whatever it may be, we're stolen from Black people. So Andrea, good bullet. Thank you so much. And your
Yeah.
sister said
Yeah.
Wakanda forever.
Right.
Everybody, there we go. There we go. So,
Yeah,
but I, I think you hit it on the head. So,
I mean, do you
yeah.
guys go ahead,
But
JP?
I was gonna say to kind of piggyback on what you were saying that I saw a post earlier this week. It's an old footage of Bill Nye the Science Guy, and he took a heat map of the world, and basically, the dark red is around the center of the Earth, which is Africa all the way around South America, the northern part of South America, and he flipped like a it's like a heat lamp, or he flipped the image to to represent skin color, and so that
mhm.
same heat of red was now brown. And he
Wow.
was saying this is basically how we came about. Everything started in the brown area, and as you go further north, it gets lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter. And so he was saying, like, hey, this is where we originated from. We're all one people.
Right.
This is what happened through life as we migrated north and south of this area. And so I
Mhm.
thought that was
It's
really
so true.
interesting.
That was so
and
true.
we talk about stuff that has been taken away from blacks throughout society throughout the years. Just and Larry, Terry, you may be able to help me with the young man's name. I can't remember his name. He was a Navy officer. He ended up losing his leg um, um, uh, during the war. It wasn't because of a battle that he lost his leg. It was a a situation that happened when he was on the ship, and I think the anchor end up cutting his leg off, and he all he wanted to do was be a Navy diver, and a lot of the accomplishments that he did during that time, he couldn't get the credit for because he was black, and that was the United States Navy that denied him a lot of his due diligence because of his skin color, which is just absolutely crazy. Um, but he ended up using a prosthetic, uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, going on and getting his master diver ranking and so forth. But just all the things that he had to go through as an African American in the United States Navy. Of course, they called him Cookie, and the only thing that you could do back then was in
Was
the
cool.
military was be a cook. That's all you could do,
Right.
uh, which was absolutely crazy. We had special days that we could go to the fair, go to the zoo, and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And so it's a lot of things that we shouldn't take for granted. You hear people, "Oh, I didn't vote. I'm not going to vote. My vote
Mm-hmm.
doesn't make a difference." But man, you got to wake up because it does make a difference, and that is something that we have to instill in our children to know that they are where they are because of the forefathers that proceeded before them. So I
That
know
is so true.
when I
That
first
is so
got to
true.
Austin P State University, signed to play football there, and on Drain Street, the Klan was marching, and I said, "My God, what did I get myself in for?" Here's a group here at Austin P
Tell
to
us the
march.
year. That was 79, wasn't it?
78. That was
78.
78, my
Yeah.
brother. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's crazy.
That's crazy. The guy you're talking about, Henry, was Carl Max Barshaw. And
Yes,
he
sir.
was a
Yes,
Navy
sir.
Navy. He lost his leg amputated in 66. And also I just read that the movie that oh God, what's the guy's name?
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Cuba Gooding Jr.
Yes,
starred in
yes,
the movie
yes,
Men of Honor. And
yes.
that's
Yeah,
an amazing story. Now,
that's
not to
right.
jump on what you said, but we have our own little history right here in as far as military. Andrea knows him. Admiral Moore.
Hmm.
Admiral Moore was the first black admiral in the United States Navy, and he's also we know him personally. Me and Andrea,
Right.
wonderful guy, wonderful guy. His wife was Andrea Soroid, and she's an excellent lady. And Brother Moore is amazing. I mean, he went in as an E1 and made it all the way to two-star admiral. So you can't beat that. Uh,
Hmm.
could you imagine what he went through from the 60s through the 70s through the 80s to get to that rank? And
Man,
what just he had to go through to be quiet to get that. So that's crazy. That's crazy. So yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. I just think that we need to uh, get more history. I think there's not enough history out there about what on a regular basis that we should know because they control the internet. So uh, if they don't like what's on there, then they erase it, and then we have it no more
Right.
unless we find the books. That's the problem. So go ahead,
Well, that's
JP. I
why
know
we
you and I.
we gotta
Okay, there you
that's why we got to read more and share more, right? Like
go. Right.
Yeah.
books about our culture, like whatever you're reading, make sure you share it with a friend, a cousin, because
Mm-hmm.
there's plenty of stuff we probably still don't know about Black history because
Hmm.
we don't really talk to each other in that aspect, or we find out most stuff about Black history during Black History Month. But are
Right.
we actively and consciously reading books and checking things out from the library or watching different documentaries about Black history? Because I was on Netflix earlier and during Black History Month, or they have the special things that come up and they say for Black History Month, but why can't we have that all year long?
Yeah.
Why is it
Hmm.
Yeah.
only during February where we get these more highlights of information?
right.
I
That is
just
so
believe
true.
Black history is American history.
Hmm.
I mean, we were Americans
True.
when we made this history. We were here. Uh,
Hmm.
Mhm.
so, but
I
that's
think you
that's
made
the
a good point um, there's so much. I know we like to, especially during Black History Month, we like to hit the home runs and speak about the historical figures of the past, and but there are so many um, impactful leaders that were just in the immediate past that are in the local area.
Mhm.
Yeah, like I like Inland Empire, like the first Black Fire Chief. There's
Hmm.
so many different figures within the community that
True.
a lot of us don't either know about or take the opportunity to appreciate and give them their flowers as well.
Absolutely.
Absolutely
Absolutely.
agree with you 200% on that one. I just think that that's what we need to do. Maybe we should highlight the local heroes sometime, not just in February. I mean, any time
Yeah,
during our year,
Hmm.
because of the history that Black people have made in America is is wonderful. It's wonderful.
yeah.
Well, I'm gonna give everybody a chance to spoke because the producer's saying we got a great flow, but it's about to end. So if you got something you want to say, please get it out there before the network cuts us off. No, I'm just playing. Our time is
Well, and I'll start it off, Terry, if you don't mind, man. In my day, in my day, as a child coming up, we had big mamas. We had big
yes,
mamas, and everybody would sit out on the 4th of July and do whatever in the yard, and Big Mama would start talking, and
right.
that was an education in itself that was passed down. Now, do we have Big Mamas now? Do we have pawpaws now? You know,
I had a big mama and a papa. I don't know.
yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. Yeah.
I'm a
So,
papa. I ain't a big mama. Well, I don't know. I could be a big. I don't think so. But
yeah,
you are 100% correct, Henry. That's where we got our history. A lot of our history is passed on down
right,
through word of mouth.
right.
So, Andrea, got anything other than that cute nephew? Uh, what else is new?
um, yeah, I don't have anything. I would just say to you all watching and everything, just continue to share and explore and we see those signs all the time. Black History is 365.
Right.
So share something
Roger
with
that.
others, share a good book, share something that you learned. I actually have this book and it's called 1001 Black History Facts. And
Wow.
Hmm.
it's not just black, African American black, it's black. It's everything black.
Black,
So
black.
I actually found out this bookstore that was going out of business. So you just never know what's out there. It's like an encyclopedia for everything black.
Was
So
it Black Facts?
1,001 things.
1001
Awesome.
cases of Black Facts.
1,001 things you should know about Black
Oh,
history.
okay.
Nice.
Nice,
I'm writing it
nice.
down. Oh,
Mhm.
okay, got it. Go ahead, JP. I'm writing. I can't do two things at
Um,
once.
I would say so after a year of independent contract work, I went back to the corporate world,
Mhm.
and I just would encourage people to. A lot of major corporations have employee networking groups,
Mhm.
employee research groups, or resource groups. Particular corporation I'm with now has a black they call it Black Employee Impact Group, and these groups again they thrive during Black History Month, but also throughout the year. They
Mhm.
serve as networking tools for people within the organization, and you actually reach out and you do things representing the company in the community. So
Mm,
I
Yes.
work for now I work for Bloomin' Brands, the company that owns Outback and Fleming's and
Mhm.
Carrabba's, a few other little restaurants. And they went to a elementary school a couple of weeks ago, and
Mhm.
Booker T. Washington Elementary,
oh,
and was able to basically treat the staff and the volunteer workers with a meal, with a truck, and then we actually stepped in for the day and helped either reading to the kids, painting, cleaning up the school, and things like that. So I would
Awesome.
encourage people to look into those type of opportunities if you're in any kind of organization that supports these types of resource groups.
Well, I'm gonna do something else that's called Black History. Uh, you need to give everybody a hookup for some of them meal cards. you, we famous for hookups, right? We need that hookup. Just
Like,
to send
yeah.
everybody a couple of those, pay by eat dinner cards. I forgot what they call, but you know what I'm talking about. Well, everybody, thank you, and thanks to the crew for being here tonight. I know you had things you could have been doing, but I appreciate your time. Uh, Thank the viewers for tuning in to TAN TV, African American Network, where we have a local feel with a global reach. And this is Out of Bounds with T-Rex. And I just want to say one thing. Thank you for being here. And if you didn't learn anything today, learn the one thing that Andrea said is get that book with 100, and what was it, 100 things that you should
Thousand
know
and
about
one things.
Black history. 101 things you should know about Black
Thousand
history.
and one. Thousand and one.
1,000, I'm sorry, 1,001. So with that said, peace out, everybody. Wonderful show, and God bless y'all.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.